Now, the first thing or the first step that you need to take in order to land your first high ticket client in 27 days or less is that you need to have your basics sorted. This means that you must have an idea regarding what you will be selling to these people. And usually what I recommend to most individuals is to go and sell some sort of advice or service. It could literally be fitness coaching, it could be relationship advice, it could be digital marketing services, or anything that you are good at that you can go and offer to these individuals. So you must be clear regarding what you're selling and you must have your basics sorted. So that's step number one. Go get your basics sorted if you haven't already. Now, step number two is once you have things or the basic stuff or your foundation sorted, you have to go and get a domain name. Now, what exactly is a domain name? So for example, you're watching this video on youtube.com, or chances are you're watching this video on UAbility.in. So when you look at this UAbility.in or youtube.com, what are these? These are domain names that you can go and buy and host your website on. Now, a lot of people tend to complicate this and they think, oh my God, I have to come up with some sort of creative name, otherwise people will not buy from me. And this is a big mistake that I would recommend that you do not make, because I did it myself. Now, back in the days when I was starting out my business, I used to Google a lot. I would Google different kind of domain names out there, think about some creative words, try to mash them together, thinking that, hey, if my domain name is really unique, clients will just automatically come to me. That's a big mistake. So one day I got so frustrated, I was just sitting and I was like, I just want to get started. I just want to make money today. So what do I do? So I went to a website called as namecheap.com. That is one of the domain registrars that we use till date. You can go check out the link in the description below. Now on namecheap.com, I simply entered my own name, which is Rohan Dhawan, and I just wrote .com in front of it. And guess what? It was available. And that's how I started my journey in the online marketing space. So I purchased rohandhawan.com, and I would recommend that if you can't think about some sort of name for your domain, just go and buy your own domain name, which is your own name, and just try to, get started with that. Now you can always change these things in the future because branding keeps upgrading, and you can worry about this once you have the basics sorted out and once you have some income flowing in consistently. Do not worry about it at the start. So if in case .com is not available for your name, just go with something else like .in, .co.in or .co, or whatever you can utilize right now in order to get started. Again, remember, the goal is to go to the market ASAP rather than overthinking and just complicating things. Get out of the kitchen fast. Okay. The third step that I would recommend is once you have a domain name, what you need to do is you need to get a website, right? Because just having a domain name is not enough. You have to have a website. Otherwise, people will think you are, living in 1990s. Because having a website in today's time is equivalent to having a business card. If you don't have a website, people will start questioning, is this business even legit? Do they even work? Are they even recognized somewhere, right? So people need to see your websites, people need to see some pages on your website just so that you appear real, and you should be real, right? The next thing that I would recommend that you do is you go get a professional email. Now, a lot of people, when they're doing cold email or cold approach, sometimes I get emails on my inbox and they would say, hey, I will show you how to, get XYZ result. And we are a company with this much backing and whatnot. But when you check their email, it would say @gmail.com, like raj@gmail.com. And I'd be like, man, if you don't have money or a professional email, then your image would appear very, not that effective, right? You'll be like, wait, this person can't afford a professional email. Why should I reply back? So it matters a little bit, at least, on that side. Otherwise, it would look like, you are basically a spammer. So my recommendation would be that you go get a professional email, something like how we do. So for me, it would be rohand@uability.in. Okay. You can also go get an email like that for yourself. Back in the days, I used to have something like hello hello@rohanthavan.com. I would recommend that you also get something like this. And so far, what we have done is we have given you this professional look where you have an amazing email, you have a basic website set up where you have online presence, and you have a domain name for yourself. Now, once you have these basic things sorted out, the next recommendation to you would be to go create a 30 to 35 minute video which gives a quick background about who you are, what exactly do you do, the kind of clients that you have worked with. And again, if you haven't worked with any kind of clients, that's completely fine. Just talk about your own story, talk about the results that you got for yourselves. So I would recommend that you go put this video on your website, and just below the video have some sort of button which says apply now, so that people click on this button, and as soon as they click on a button, they get redirected to another page which would be a calendar, which is the next step that you need to set up. So in the next step, what I would recommend doing is go to a website called as calendly.com. It must be appearing on your screen. Now on calendly.com, what you can do is you can register for an account for absolutely free. Now what is Calendly? Well, it's a basic calendar system which allows people to understand when is Rohan available to talk to, or when are you available to talk to, so that I can book a call with them and then eventually talk to these individuals. And it all seems very, very professional, as if you are some multinational company and you have like limited slots available. And trust me, even though it sounds pretty simple, it works till date, and go try it for yourself right now. And then the next thing that we need to do is we need to literally go and start sending emails. That's pretty much it. So now the next step that we have to do is, after we have integrated Calendly, is we need to start scraping data from the internet. This means that we need to go to the internet and actually find database of our potential clients who will pay us this money. Now once we have scraped out the email addresses of these individuals from the internet, the next thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that these email addresses are legit, they are verified, they are not some sort of fake emails which will basically, reduce our sender score. And what exactly is sender score? Just to give you a basic definition of it, basically these email platforms like Gmail, Yahoo and all that, they kind of have like, a reputation for your email addresses being stored in their internal database. It's kind of like having CIBIL score, right? So the more junk emails you send, the more spammy emails you send, and the more emails that you send which get bounced or which get sent to an email address that does not exist, or an email address which is fake, then what will happen is your sender score will keep on going down. And as a result, just like how your CIBIL score goes down, your emails will also start going in spam folder. So that is why we are focusing so much on making our emails personalized. And now what we need to do is we need to make sure that and verify that the emails that we have collected are verified as well, and they do not get delivered to, let's say, a fake address. Okay, and we get the maximum replies possible. Now in order to do this, we use different kind of tools where I'll walk you through on my computer and show you the different kind of tools that you can utilize in order to verify these email addresses. Now, a free tool that I would recommend using would be verifyemailadress.org. You can just go to this website, type any email that you want, and it would tell you if it is a legit email or not. And as you can see over here, it seems to be valid. Now, another thing that you can do is, let's say I just go and type a fake email over here, you would see that it would tell you that it's not valid. So you only send emails to the ones that are valid. Another tool that you can try out is Never Bounce. The only thing is that this is not free, but you do get 1000 credits to start off with, so try doing that. The benefit of this is you can download your sheet in Excel or CSV format and upload it to this website, and it will be able to verify them in bulk format rather than doing each one of them one by one. Now, so far, we have actually taken out quality data from the internet, we have scraped them effectively, we have gotten personalized information, and we have also made sure that these email addresses are actually legit rather than some sort of fake emails. Now, the next thing that we need to do, guess what? We actually need to send these emails to these individuals, because that's the only step left, right? So in order to send these emails, you have two methods. You can go about sending these emails manually to these people, people, which honestly you can do, but it's going to take a lot of time. But I want to get started ASAP, and I'm sure you want to get started as soon as possible. So the best method that I use is using a tool called as YAM. Now YAM stands for Yet Another Mail Merge, which is a tool which you can utilize. It's free to get started with if you want to send 50 emails per day, which is good enough for a lot of people watching this video. The next thing we need to do is we need to respond to these emails and eventually get these people on a call. So once these people reply back to you, the simplest thing that you need to do is you need to give them your Calendly link, get them to basically book a call with you, eventually, get them on Zoom, Google Meet or Skype. Now, in case somebody doesn't manually book a call themselves using the Calendly link that you send them, that's completely fine. These people could be busy. All you need to do is just send them another email and just ask them yourself, does Thursday 3 p.m. work for you? Or when exactly are you available this week so that we can schedule a call? And then once they reply back to you, you can manually schedule the call by going to Calendly and scheduling the call on their behalf so that they get automatic reminders from Calendly and the call is confirmed and it's all professionalized. Now, once the call is scheduled, the next thing I would recommend doing is sending these people reminders. So one reminder I would send as soon as they have booked the call. The other reminder I would send on the day of the call itself. Now, a lot of people, rely on too much automation and boring reminders. Now, what they do is,
hey, your call is scheduled for this and this date. We are looking forward to talking to you, right?
It's just very, very boring. So what I prefer doing is making it interesting. So one thing that you can do is probably, let's say, craft like a selfie video where you're explaining to somebody that, hey, first name, super excited to talk to you. I have actually prepared all these notes that I will be sharing with you on this call. Looking forward to it and hope you are excited as well. So that could be like first message. The other one, you could probably include like an image where you're like sitting in front of Zoom. You could take a selfie and be like, hey, first name, really looking forward to the call today. I'm actually prepared with the Zoom and everything and hope you're prepared as well. Let's catch up. So something like that. Make sure that you stand out, you appear different, you are unique rather than doing and copying what everyone else is doing. Because if you do something that is different from what everyone else is doing, you stand out and your conversion rates go up.